Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.
It's not council policy to cure vampires.
Did you explain that these were special cells?
Not under any circumstances, and yes, I did try to convince them.
Try again.
Buffy, they're very firm. We're talking about laws which have existed longer than civilization.
I'm talking about watching my lover die. I don't have a clue what you're talking about, and I don't care.
Buffy, we'll find a cure.
The council's orders are to concentrate on these...
Orders. I don't think I'm gonna be taking any more orders. Not from you, not from them.
You can't turn your back on the council.
They're in England. I don't think they can tell which way my back is facing.
Giles, talk to her.
I have nothing to say right now.
Wesley, go back to your council
see
and
what-
tell them until the next Slayer comes along, they can close up shop. I'm not working for them anymore.
Don't you see what's happening? Faith poisoned Angel to distract you, to keep you out of the mayor's way, and it's working. But we need a strategy.
I have a strategy. You're not in it.
This is mutiny.
I like to think of it as graduation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Buffy. We're just two boys watching every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time, giving our reviews, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance Tucker.
Last name. Last name. I'm always thrown off when you give last name.
No, I just throw it in there randomly to do it.
I guess for big episodes, this is a big one. This is the kickoff of the end of season 3. It is season 3, episode 21, titled Graduation Day Part 1, written and directed by Joss Whedon. Original air date May 18th, 1999, to an audience of 5.13 million people. And yeah, we get stuff really starting to kick off here. A lot of drama.
Yeah. This is a two-parter, and it's I'm really happy with this episode. I think maybe we'll have some stuff to say at the end, but this was to be expected.
Yeah, we ended on a cliffhanger too, which is lovely, like a big cliffhanger. So
yeah, and a weird awkward cliffhanger, but sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah. There's some debate.
I got some thoughts.
But before we get into the episode, everybody remember, got that stand-up special happening at El Cid November 1st at 7. Got the link in the show notes. I think I posted about it on the Discord. And the day that this comes out, the next day, October 12th, I believe. Yeah, October 12th. It's your boys' burlesque / solo trapeze debut at El Cid as well, and that's at 8 o'clock, so check that shit out too. And that's all the plugs I got. What about you, Vance?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, no bullshit. You got something. Vance voiced a character on Gridiron Heights, Bleacher Report, writing and starring.
Yeah.
Getting some good use out of this home studio setup that we've got going. Everybody check out Gridiron Heights. Support Vance too. And subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Follow. You can follow me on Twitter at @isthatVance. I tweet every now and then. Throw some stuff
Discord, out there. Patreon, that stuff too. We got stuff coming up for that. Be one of the early subscribers, and then you're all going to see very shortly what's going to be popping up on that Patreon.
Now is the time to start joining into the Patreon and keeping an eye on it, because it's about to blow up.
Yeah. Alrighty. So let's get into the episode here. We start off the episode with a recap of everything Faith, you know, who she is, how she murdered that guy, you know, how she got hooked up with the mayor, her knife situation, which comes back, which we speculated on, but I kind of forgot about until this recap. And I was like, oh, I guess this is going to play into something.
I mean, it had to play in just because how she stared at that knife.
Yeah.
Like, she stared at it so longingly.
Yeah. And then we also get a little recap of the Ascension and then Buffy and Angel breaking up. And it's a nice little season 3 in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So we open the episode up actually with Cordelia and Xander getting their graduation gowns, and Cordelia's complaining because she doesn't like maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Xander's like, I like maroon. It's a little bit of dignity. And Cordelia's like, since when do you care about dignity in fashion? And good point, Cordelia, especially those last couple of episodes with that ruffled, terrible shirt and that terrible paisley red and green thing. Defenders of that shirt, hit the bricks.
There are some defenders on Discord and Instagram of those looks. Those Xander looks.
You know, the red and green one is better than the ruffle shirt. The ruffle shirt.
I will agree. I think the red and green one has a place.
Yeah. I could see, you know, Rob Thomas wearing it in the Smooth video with Santana.
I think the ruffled shirt, the issue with it is double that he has a similar multicolored tan shirt underneath it too. It's got a lot going on.
It's too much. I hate it.
All right, while we're on it, what do you think of this shirt, sweater, fleece thing he's got on here?
You know, this episode, it didn't really bother me, but it is in the same vein as that really like Easter yellow sweater that he had that was kind of tight.
It's not as bad as the yellow sweater, but
the yellow one was super tight. This one's
just
not that
so
bad.
Pastel yellow is
well, it was pastel yellow and he was wearing khakis.
Yeah.
That's what made it look so weird. Like if he had like jeans or like dark blue pants or black pants, like it wouldn't have been that bad.
I don't know.
But it was too much.
Yeah, this sweater was like fine. I think it fit his character.
Yeah.
But you go ahead.
So then Xander is basically like, you know what? I want a little bit of dignity because, you know, I'm starting to really feel like I'm going to die. I'm going to die at this school. I'm not getting out. You know, all of these people around us have been dying and I've been lucky, but sooner or later, my number's getting called and I feel like it's happening like soon.
Yeah.
It's like, geez.
I'm with them. Like, there's only so many close calls you can expect to have.
Mm-hmm.
Without, like he's almost been bit. Like, he almost got mauled last episode.
Dude, he's like dated murderers and people trying to kill him. Like, he is intimate with these things.
I mean, he went to prom with a murderous demon. So,
yeah, which this babyface turn for her out of nowhere.
This is what happens when you take over the body of a teenage girl.
I guess, dude. But yeah, Cordelia's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you will die. Whatever. And then we pan on over to Willow, and Willow's signing yearbooks to somebody, and like this one blonde girl comes up to her. She's like, Willow, sign my yearbook. And Willow's signing her yearbook, and Willow's like, you sign mine too. And then the girl is like, you know, I'm really going to miss you. I really wish that we gotten to know each other better, you know, just because we were in high school. I just felt like it was a missed opportunity to get to know you. And Willow's like, oh, that's so sweet. We'll stay in touch. And the girl's like, yeah, let's stay in touch after this. And that girl walks away, and Buffy walks up. She's like, you even know that girl? And Willow's like, yeah, she used to bully me every single day for the last 4 years. She hated me and I hated her. I'm going to miss her. And yeah, Willow's getting like all kinds of nostalgia about, you know, high school and leaving Sunnydale, where all of their worst nightmares have basically taken place.
I really thought that girl was going to be like, that Willow wasn't going to know what her name was when it was time to sign her book.
That's what I thought. I thought they were both going to be like, and who are you again? What's your name again?
Yeah. Because I don't remember seeing this girl before either. So I think she's just some rando.
Yeah, she does. She looks familiar in that she just looks like everybody else at this high school.
Well, I just don't know if I've ever seen Willow really being bullied.
Same.
Besides from the Cordettes.
Fair. Yeah. That's the only people I've ever seen.
She might be somewhere within the Cordette system.
It could be. But yeah, Willow's basically full on getting nostalgic and being like, oh, I'm going to miss all of this. Oh, let me go over to my trusty soda machine. Oh, I always click root beer and you always give me Coke. Oh, I'm going to miss this. And Buffy's like, what are you talking about? I'm not nostalgic about this shit at all. You know, this sucks. I can't wait to, not like I can't wait to leave, but she's just like, I feel like nothing really happens. I feel no attachment to any of this. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to go to graduation. It's dumb. And besides, you know, that's where the mayor is going to be. Well, Willow's like, you got to go to graduation. And Buffy's like, I'm going to be fighting the mayor most likely.
Well, Willow was like, graduation. I was like, Willow, you're planning to go to graduation? You're like, chill? You guys all know the world is ending. And
yeah, they have the date. Like, it's graduation day.
Do you think they should let the mayor destroy Sunnydale so that the world can like start galvanizing against this force of demons?
Like, they're going to do this and then it'll be like world news, so then everybody will know about the demons. No.
Okay. Do you think they should Do you think they should at least tell the other students?
Yes. Well, the other students seem to know based on prom.
Like, they don't know about the mayor's ascension.
I think that the students, here's what I think. I think that the students would believe Buffy if she told, and Buffy and Willow and Xander and like all the people that are at the center of all the weirdness. Mm-hmm. And even Giles, if Giles came and Wesley, because they know Wesley now because, you know, they saw him dancing with Cordelia. There had to be some like, oh, who was that guy? Oh, who's Cordelia? Oh. If they told the students, I think the students would believe them.
That's what I mean.
The students' parents wouldn't believe them, and the parents would force them to go to graduation because graduation, as we know, is not about the students. It's about your parents getting to see you walk across that stage. So I think the parents would force it, and then everybody would still be fucked.
Okay, I agree with that. But I do think with her now class protector status, she could like give some heads up.
Yeah, she should have taken the mic at prom and been like, thank you all for this. And as first duty of class protector, nobody go to graduation.
Move out of Sunnydale immediately. If you have applied for college, check in over the summer. If you've gotten in.
If you got into Sunnydale, UC Sunnydale, go anywhere else. Anywhere else. Whatever other college you got into, go there.
Take up a trade in another state.
Oh, man. But, yeah. So Buffy's like, yeah, I'm going to be fighting the mayor most likely. And then Xander shows up. And Willow has some kind of thing of like, do you really think that the mayor's going to really attack everybody at graduation? And then Xander shows up and he's like, you guys are not going to believe who the fuck our commencement speaker is. And they're like, no way, is it the mayor? And he's like, yes way, it's the mayor, dude.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Willow, they were about to kill you. Willow, they were about to kill you. You've seen the mayor in action. Like,
they also do this joke that I thought was pretty funny and so dated, which I love. So Xander's like, you're never going to guess who our commencement speaker is. And Willow goes, Siegfried? And Xander's like, no. She goes, Roy? She goes, no. She goes, one of the tigers? He's like, Willow, come on. It's the mayor.
Like, it's such a random, like, why would they ever do a commencement speech at Sunnydale?
Yeah. And why would you, like, even as like a hopeful, like, please be Siegfried and Roy. But yeah, they're all getting worried about the mayor doing the commencement speech at Sunnydale High's graduation, which is when the Ascension is planned to happen. But then we go to Faith, and there's this guy, this older dude in a sweater vest walking around his apartment, and he's got a bunch of old artifacts around his apartment, and he gets a knock at the door, and it's Faith, and the old guy's like, hello, can I help you? And she's like, yeah, are you Professor Worth? And he's like, why, yes, I am. Who are you? You might want to come back during office hours. And she's like, no, I'm not here. I'm not a student. I'm with the mayor. I'm Faith. And he's like, oh, okay, you're with the mayor. Come on in. And
at this point, when you see Faith dressed the way she is and she's sent there from the mayor, what do you think she's sent here for? like it's just like the mayor sending over some.
Well, this is what I thought. I thought that this professor was like in on it or something, or he knew the mayor and he was like working with the mayor at the start of this.
Yeah.
And then Faith comes in and the professor's like, that's really exciting that Mayor Wilkins is like, so like what would he want with my work? And at that point it's like, well, wait, you're not in on this. So like, what do you think is happening here?
Yeah, you think he just sent over some 20-something teenage girl to just...
And then, well, then she's like, are you here alone? And he's like raising his eyebrows like, yeah, I'm here all alone. Just a bachelor living his bachelor life. And Faith just takes out a giant knife.
Yeah, she's like, well, turn around and get on the wall. And we can make this easy. And I'm like, jeez.
Yeah. And he's like, wait, why? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And she's like, you know, the mayor asked me to do it, and I never really thought to ask why. And she's like, stabs this fucking guy. I was like, whoa, this is Faith.
This was darker than her reaction to killing the guy and being like, I don't really care. Like, this seems like the nicest dude. He's just living at his house, studying volcanoes or whatever. And she just comes in and just like, all right, the mayor told me to kill you. Gotta kill you. Like, it is rough.
Yeah. Like, this is what Angel was worried about like she's got a taste for murder and she liked it or whatever. Because now she just has no qualms about it's like, no, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Stab, stab, stab. And this is fucking everybody that is arguing with me on Discord. I gotta take a stand here.
Okay.
The mayor is sending her on these like death murder missions. And everyone's like, I think that the mayor and Faith's relationship is really nice. Like,
well, I think she was already bad before she got with the mayor. So it's not like he's turning her bad. That's the thing. I think
that he's
just pointing her badness to a place. Like, she almost strangled Xander. I'm not saying he is a bad guy.
Yeah, no, they're both bad people. Like, I just don't get the thing of like their relationship goals. She's not a victim in the relationship because she came to him. She wanted to be pointed in this direction. She would have gone to someone else to this direction. He didn't fully groom her. He didn't like take her and she was nice. And then he was like, oh, here, steal some money. Oh, here, kill this guy. Oh, beat this person up. It wasn't like a gang initiation where he like slowly brought her down. She was already down. Now she's just like at such a point where like he can just point her to kill anybody. And I think that's bad. I don't think that's a good like relationship to foster, you know? Like everyone
it's not supposed to be a good relationship.
Yeah, but everyone's like this is a sincere relationship.
Join the Discord. It's a lot of semantics going on.
Yeah.
Like I checked out once he got to like, is this abusive or
manipulative or toxic?
I was like, now we're just like,
what are the differences between all of? I was just like,
what are we talking about? It's like he's a playfully evil mayor who's got a killer slayer on his hands. That's all it is. There's not and there's daddy issues. There's there's bad dad with him and good dad with Giles. And that's the dynamics that the show has.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think she's being like completely, it's not like he like a
Is he
pimp and a
treating-
it's not like a pimp and a prostitute. I don't think
Is he treating
it's like
her
that.
nicely? Sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like, people in Charles Manson's cult, Charles Manson was treating them probably nicely, but I wouldn't think that people would be like, well, Charles Manson, he's got some good, he was at least really nice to me,
Well, here's the thing I feel like is going to happen. I'll get into some early prediction stuff.
Okay.
It seems like it's set up where he's going to betray, like he was going to betray Faith at the end. And then she was going to be like, what? I trusted you. And then that was going to be like a weird turning point where like, oh, she's redeemed. That is what I don't want to have happen. I don't want any redemption for Faith.
Yeah.
Because she just stabbed this dude. In cold blood.
willy-nilly.
I'm off of the Faith train. Like she can be like, oh no, I was lied to. Oh no, I was manipulated. Oh no, my mom never liked me. I don't give a fuck. You just killed this dude. And didn't even know why.
No questions asked. Yeah. Just like, you're paying for my apartment? All right, I'll kill whoever you want.
Yeah.
You got me a PlayStation?
Yeah.
You got me miniature golf?
Yeah.
Fucking stab, dude.
Even Mr. Trick asked questions.
Yeah, he wanted to know what's going on, at least. So yeah. Then we have the, opening song, and then we're at the mayor. We're with the mayor at Faith's apartment, and the mayor's like doing some tidying up because he seems to have like OCD, germaphobe type of shit. And they're just kind of like debriefing about what happened. She's like, yep, I killed Professor Worth, took what you needed, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, yeah, this is great. Tying up loose ends. Thank you so much, Faith. And then Faith's like, I don't know. Faith is off screen right now. And she's like, I don't know. I don't really want to come out. I don't want to do this. And the mayor's like, oh, come on, come out. And then she's like, no, really? You think I can? He's like, yeah, come on, let's see. She comes out and she's wearing this incredibly girly pink dress. And it does not fit her character or anything at all. It looks so weird on her to me.
Yeah. And I was getting a little worried because I know I jokingly was like, who knows, next episode the mayor and Faith could be sleeping together or something.
Yeah.
I was like, and he came out and the look he had and then her and that, I was like, that seems like something like his wife would probably wear, when she was like, I was like, I don't know what's happening, but luckily they clearly state the relationship.
Yeah. So he's like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. And she's like, really? You think so? And he's like, you've never looked better. This is so pretty. I'm so proud of the person that you've become. And he stands up and he's walking towards her. And he's like, this is going to be the best ascension ever. And it's not just my ascension. This is your ascension too, into the woman that you've blossomed into. And he like caresses her head. And he goes, a father couldn't be more proud of who you've become or something. And I was like, even though this is quote unquote father-daughter relationship, I'm still getting creep vibes.
It's a father-daughter relationship that came out of nowhere. Like at least with Buffy, you had like seasons.
Yeah.
She just had a few episodes and this guy's like, here's a PlayStation, an apartment. Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah.
like she fell into that really quick.
Yeah.
I don't know who turned faster, her or Anya.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, okay, thank you. I really appreciate that. And he's like, all right, go change into your street clothes. Let's go get an icy.
The mayor is delightful. He has so many good lines in this episode.
Yeah, his love of like childish things seems so fun.
Like he just has like this normal old school guy like cheerfulness, and then it's just so sinisterly evil.
Sorry, what was that word?
Sinisterly? And then I thought you were gonna let me slide on that. I don't talk so good.
Yeah, this is my first time talking to another human being today as well.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, like he is like so fun to be around. Like he's a scene stealer.
Yeah. He's everything I wanted the Master to be.
Yeah, the Master tried to be like big evil and like not fucking around. Like the mayor's fucking around, and he's like, yeah, you know, all this other stuff is happening. Like we've got some serious matters at hand, but also
the mayor hasn't done anything overly stupid yet either. Like his plans haven't been like, I know what we'll do, and it's like, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So
then we have Willow riding her bike to school, and she's parking her bike, and Percy West shows up, and he's like, Willow, check it out. History final. I got a B-. I'm like a fucking genius. And Willow's like, good job.
Well, was Percy West, was he recasted? He looked a little different to me. Is it the same guy?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying that much attention to Percy West, if I'm being honest with you.
I know someone was paying attention to Percy West. That's Oz.
Oh, yeah, he was. So Percy's like thanking Willow for, you know, helping him get his grades up. And he's like, you know what? This is great. Thank you so much for helping me pass this history final. And also thank you for not, you know, kicking my ass again like you did at the bronze. And Willow's like, oh, you know, that was just a lesson to you to keep up with your studies.
I like that they brought that up because we were saying that has to be his reality.
Yeah.
And but then no one told him that, oh, another one of her existed and killed a girl at the bronze later.
Yeah. Nobody did.
No.
So then they're talking, and Oz shows up, and Oz is giving old Percy West the like, who the fuck is this guy look?
Yeah.
Why is he talking to my girl? And Percy West is like, you know what? I'm so thankful for you, and thankful that you taught me all this stuff, and I'm thankful that I can graduate and never have to think about this bullshit again. And he just walks away. And Will's like, well, that's not really what I was hoping for. But yeah, Oz and Willow then start talking about, like, you know, I'm worried about graduation day. You know, we all might die. And we got to find a spell that can reverse this Ascension stuff. We got to figure it out. And Oz is like, we will. Let's do it. So they go off and they're about to go do that stuff. So then Xander shows up to his class late, and the teacher gives him a good talking to. He's like, well, Mr. Harris, nice of you to show up and join us here. Just because finals are over, and we still have class, but all of you are basically done with school. Doesn't mean that you can just goof off, all right? Now,
that's exactly what it means.
That is exactly what I did too.
That last month of school is just hanging out with your friends.
Dude, hanging out with your teachers. Dude, like, I had cool teachers. I remember we were just like watching Dumb and Dumber in my AP environmental science class after that shit was done.
Yeah, it's a vacation for them too. What else are they gonna do? You're already done. This teacher is, in fact, the teacher from that first episode of the season that we zoomed in on. Yeah, that we were like, hey, what is this guy?
Well, you know what he's up to? He's up to playing hangman in class.
Yeah. I was like, is this a setup for like the greatest callback ever? Like, is he just an extra that they haven't used?
Maybe he's going to be like a Jonathan type character where he comes back event. Well, yeah, they're graduating.
Yeah, I mean, it's been they're graduating, and it's been a whole season, and he hasn't even like popped up in any class. We've seen multiple classroom scenes too. Like, true, Buffy sneaking out of class with Faith. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, because they highlighted him.
Yeah.
In that
they highlight him again here.
Yeah. He's the thumbnail on Amazon.
He's just playing hangman with the class. And Mr. Harris, what do you think? And he's like, E? And he's like, everybody always goes for E first. He draws the head.
Like, what?
Dude, I haven't thought about the game Hangman in so long.
Yeah. Back then, it was still more relevant, I think. But yeah, no one plays. I don't think people play Hangman anymore.
No, we got smartphones.
Yeah.
we got that little ball and cup thing.
We have Wordle. We have Wordle.
We have that game where you put the phone up to your head and you're like basically playing Pyramid or whatever.
Yeah.
Games have gotten good out here. In 2022, dude, we be gaming.
Peak Games was 2015, and you know it.
Candy Crush? Are you kidding me? Nothing's topping. Bejeweled.
Snood.
So now Anya, the man-hating demon, the wish demon, is sitting next to Xander. And she's like...
She goes to class.
Dude, right? I know we talked about this last episode, but it's so stupid that this 1,100-year-old demon...
Who just started in the middle of the year as a senior.
Yeah. Is in...
She has no transcripts or anything.
So she's sitting next to Xander and she's like, so, Xander, I was wondering if, are you busy this weekend? You want to do something? And Xander's like what? So you can lecture me about all the men that you've killed and all the men that you hate again? Yeah, it does not sound like a good time. And Anya's like, touche. Well, we can do something that you like, men. We can watch sports. Men like sports, right? I'd be down to watch sports. And Xander goes, wow, you've been alive for 1,100 years, and all that you've deduced about men is we like sports, we like breasts, we like eating chips and snacks and stuff. He's like, grow up.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I do like this little twist of her needing to learn what, like, she's only seen the bad side of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting that she'll have to learn Xander's not a normal person. Like if she hung out with Jonathan and Xander's, she'd be like, oh yeah, there's a spectrum. Like if she hangs out with Oz, there's a whole different range of just not generic stereotypical guys.
Yeah. Hey, ladies listening, we're all different, okay? We all have our unique likes and dislikes, and that's what we should all take away from this episode.
And also that you can have a full volume conversation in a classroom where a teacher just yelled at you for coming in late.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
They're not whispering at all.
They're talking like Vance and I are talking, just blah, 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 so loud. But yeah, after Xander kind of ridicules her for this, she's like, Xander, come on, man. I'm trying here. I'm trying to ask you out, and you're giving me nothing. And Xander's like, you know what? I'm sorry. Okay. I've just got a lot on my mind. I'm a little stressed about this, whole Ascension thing. But let me tell you what. If I survive the Ascension, we can go out and do something. And as he's bringing up the Ascension, the camera goes to Anya, and Anya is freaking the fuck out. There's some dramatic violin music going on, and Xander just looks at her and goes, what? And then we cut.
This is to my point of, you know what? Bring up the Ascension. Talk to people about it.
Yep.
You're in a school full of witches and demons and geniuses and school geniuses.
Geniuses, genius surgeons, genius technology people that can train hellhounds.
Yeah, see if he's not starved to death in that back room and be like, hey, do you know how to send demons back to hell after Ascension? He's like, yeah, I studied that, but I was like, that's too impractical. Get the word out,
Yeah, get everybody together and work on this.
Yeah.
Because if you're ever get fucking O'Toole in on this too, he can raise the Ted. Maybe he knows something. Maybe his uncle knows something.
He got mauled by
he got eaten by Oz. We got Oz to poop him out.
Yeah. But if Oz turns into a werewolf during the Ascension, can he fight it?
Oh, that'd be sick. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Anya's super worried about the Ascension. As soon as Xander brings up, she's like, oh shit, we got another Ascension going on. Buffy then is in the library with Giles and Wesley, and she has a newspaper that's talking about the professor that got killed. And she's like, Faith did this, I know it. Wesley and Giles are fencing each other, and Giles is just not even looking or paying attention and just schooling Wesley.
Yeah, I know we saw him use a sword in the Balthazar episode or whatever to cut a guy's head off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how good Giles was as a swordsman.
Well, it's also like the slowest fencing ever.
Well, I mean, they're actors.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giles is just making quick work of Wesley, like not even paying attention and also destroying him.
We also have to bring up, this is the middle of the day and they're in the middle of the library and they're fencing each other.
Hey, dude, finals. We already did them.
Everyone's slagging off.
You guys playing hangman. These two are fencing. You know, it's fine.
Dude, these newspaper reporters too, man, they're on it.
They're on the money, dude. Like, you know, the mayor was like, I love that we are not having any loose ends. But fucking the police figure out that this guy's been murdered.
Yeah.
Like there's still a body. Like Faith didn't, drop him in the harbor.
Make it look like an accident.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
he tripped and fell and landed on a big giant Bowie knife.
Yeah. What knife did she kill him with, too? She doesn't have her favorite knife. She could have made a comment about that.
Yeah, it was just, she's like, I don't want to do it with this, but it's all I got right now. So Giles is reading the newspaper, and then they're kind of deducing like, well, why would the mayor have this guy killed unless he knew something? So maybe there's something up with this professor. Maybe we should investigate what happened and what he knows. Because the mayor wouldn't just have this guy killed for no reason, especially if he's, the Ascension's like 3 days away. He's tying up a loose end. And so Wesley is like, all right, game plan. We got to go. Buffy, you're going to go to this Professor Worth's apartment, snoop around, see what he knows, see why the mayor would have had him killed. And Buffy's like, oh, I like when you're taking control. Wesley, this is a good look for you. And he's like, why, thank you. That's the right answer, though, right? That's what we should be doing. And Giles is like, Wesley.
He's like he's so far behind. Like, it's so weird. It's like, you should do that. It's like, yeah, she's already on it, man. Like,
yeah. And Buffy kind of laments that she can't kill Faith. It's against the Slayer code.
Yeah,
and they're talking about how, like, she might show up. And Buffy's like, I know. I know I can't kill her, but I can maim her. I could like twist her into a pretzel. I can do that. I can hurt her, right?
Is she saying it because she doesn't have the guts to kill her, or is that the rules of Buffydom, of Slayerdom, stop her from killing? I think she's saying that she doesn't have it in her to kill a person.
I think it's more the rules of Slayerdom, because
you brought up clearly that outside of the rules of Slayerdom, murder is wrong in both places.
Yeah, no, but Buffy is like, I want to murder her, but I know that I can't because it's against the rules. And it's like, this is not. Okay.
I feel like it's more of an emotional, I don't think she can just kill a person thing.
I think it'd be tough for her, but if it came down to killing Faith to save the world, she would do it.
Oh yeah,
she would try to find another way.
That's the weird thing, because it kind of is coming down to that, and they're like, I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I don't know. But just as they're talking about this, Xander comes in and he's got Anya in arm. He's dragging her with her, and they're like, oh, what are you doing here, Xania? What are you doing here with Anya? And Xander's like, guess what? This 1,100-year-old man-hating demon, she's lived through an Ascension. She's seen one with her own eyes. She can give us a scoop about all that's going to happen. And I was like, this is a nice little twist. I like this.
It's
of course.
Perfect. Yeah.
Of course, Anya has seen it all. We just saw her at the prom telling stories about, the Renaissance and all this shit.
It is a great way to incorporate that character who seems like they're just on a one-off trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring them back in slowly, and then tie them right into the overall plot. It's great. It's great storytelling. Yeah,
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
So she's talking about the Ascension that she lived through, and it was a sorcerer that achieved Ascension, became a demon named Lohesh, and decimated an entire village. And they were like, it's just a demon though. Like, She's like, no, you've never even fought a demon before. And Buffy's like, I've been fighting demons for 4 fucking years. What do you know? What are you talking about? And then Anya's like, no, you've been fighting these hybrid Earth bullshit demons. Like kind of like the hybrid Earth bullshit vampires you've been fighting too. When a person achieves Ascension, they become a pure demon and they are more powerful and they are very, very big too. And then everyone's like, oh no.
I love the way they're ratcheting things up for next season and the lore overall.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like,
yeah, because usually you're like, oh, it's another super powerful vampire. Oh, it's another super powerful vampire, whatever. Now they're like, no, you've been dealing with a bunch of bullshit.
yeah. Because we've gotten to the point of like, all right, here's some hellhounds. I just killed them. It's fine. Like, we've seen her just like dispatch of things.
Yeah,
walk
the
into
judge.
She fight her way out of hell. You know,
Yeah.
like we've seen all that stuff. So it's like, okay, now there's actual real threats. People that are invulnerable.
Yeah.
Demons that are larger. It's like, that's good stuff to like have.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, Sweater Giles is the best Giles.
I agree.
That look is just like, yeah, it works for him.
Yeah. Giles is a very fashionable man. He looks good in everything that he's ever worn in the show. Like, I've never had a fashion corner moment with him where I'm like, Giles, what are you doing? Like, every other character except for maybe Wesley, because they're just wearing suits. Like, Wesley's wearing a 3-button suit, which was typical of the 90s back then. Would never do that now. 2-button, 1-button. But 3-button, that's a little too much now. But he always looks really sharp, even with his like suspenders and shit. They both look good. But yeah, what are we talking about?
Just got lost in Giles and Wesley.
Right. Yeah.
Right, the Ascension and the Mirror.
Anya,
the bigger
Anya
demons.
is talking about big old demons.
But Giles' sweater, though.
Oh, man. Fashionable gents. So, speaking of the mayor, they're going over the where the graduation commencement speech is going to be taking place. It's the mayor and Principal Snyder walking around. He's showing him the lay of the land. Like, hey, this is where we're going to be. You're going to be up there talking.
Do you think that the graduation should be at the Bronze? Like, I don't think they should have it there. Joking, it's on like it's on the quad.
Yeah, it's on the quad. That'd be hilarious if it was at the quad or at the Bronze.
They're just like, all right, we can move the pool tables over. And
dude, I was flabbergasted when prom wasn't at the Bronze.
I know.
I was shocked. But yeah, Snyder's showing him around, and the mayor is basically like, you know what? You don't need to worry about this, Principal Snyder. Everything's going to go off without a hitch. And let me tell you, man, you've been an excellent key in the cog of all of my plans. You know, I hired you. We needed somebody to keep everything in order. You are a guy that likes to keep things in order, and I really appreciate all that you've done. I know that Sunnydale is not a normal place, and we've all seen a lot of really strange and bizarre things happening here. But you've kept a cool head. You've kept the school year going. We may have even won a basketball championship. So you will not be rewarded. You will be rewarded for your faithful actions towards me. And Snyder's like, the mayor. And he's like, and you know what? You can call me, is it Richard?
I think so.
Yeah. You can call me by my first name. And then the mayor walks off and Snyder's like, I'm a good boy. The mayor made me a good boy.
There's a couple key things is that he's like, I'm all about order, like law and order, like something very Nazi-esque. Like I'm all about law and order or something like keeping things in order. And also it was a nice reveal that the mayor, like I was like, why is Principal Snyder important to the mayor?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because he says, make sure every student is here.
Yeah.
Because I guess he needs to eat all the students, I guess. I mean, I know there's some slackers that are definitely skipping graduation.
See, I didn't know that you could skip high school graduation. I knew people that didn't go to their college graduation, but
You can, I mean,
I guess you can skip anything.
Some people might not even graduate. Half the people don't even have parents because they're probably dead.
Yeah, half of the students are dead.
Yeah, like you would think the mayor would be trying to keep students alive for the Ascension, but like it seems like he should have done some other stuff. But whatever. I guess this is all that we're gonna get from Principal Snyder's involvement.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think that Snyder might babyface turn on the next episode.
I think he might turn into like a weird little gargoyle demon.
Now here's the question. Do you think Snyder has a Blue Lives Matter sticker on his car? He's got a Blue Lives flag outside of his
100%. 100%.
Oh man. But yeah, that's basically that scene. So then the gang's all at the library, and Anya's talking about the Ascension that she saw, and they're trying to get more and more details out of her. And Buffy's like, "Well, was at your Ascension? Was there a box of Gab? And Giles is like, she says rock.
She says Gravlox, which is like I don't know what Gravlox is. It's some type of food. But yeah.
But Anya's like, no, that wasn't at my Ascension. Maybe my Ascension was a little different than your Ascension, but I definitely saw an Ascension. And, Oz and Willow are there at this point, and they're like, what's the evil demon lady doing here? And they're like, she's telling us about the Ascension. Don't worry about it. She lived through one. And as they're all kind of talking about the Ascension a little bit more.
Can I just say, she still goes to school and sits in some of your classes.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want her to be closer so that you could keep a tab on her? Because her wish powers are strong.
Yeah. Even though she, quote unquote, doesn't have them anymore, who knows when she could get those back? She's working to get them back. She wants them back. She went to fucking prom with Xander. Like, obviously evil.
She went to prom with Xander, and now you're like, why is she in the library? It's like, what?
I thought we were over this.
Yeah, he picked her up. He gave her a corsage.
Man, corsage. That's another word I haven't thought about in forever.
Know. Whew. That just fell out of my brain.
Dude, watching this show has made me so nostalgic for like the 90s and like just simpler times, dude.
Oh man, you're one of those.
Dude,
I was simpler.
It was, I was
things
not
weren't simpler. You were just younger.
True. And I was a simpler human. I know too much now, Vance. I know about the box of Gavrock. I know.
It's like people twice your age are like, oh man, these young kids. And then you're going to be like, these young kids.
Yeah. Well, I've just been consuming a lot of content that came out around this era recently. Like, obviously we're watching this show. I saw Scream for the first time ever a couple days ago.
The original one?
Yeah. And I was like, man, this shit, like, things were so much easier. Like, they're corded
I thought you would have hated
phones
that
and
movie.
stuff. I did. I thought it was really stupid. I know it's a quote unquote classic, but I was like, this is.
I mean, you're watching a movie is like a send up of horror movies, but you're watching it 20 years later.
Well, that's the thing is,
so, all the tropes are already like been sent up. Like,
well, that's
Happy
what
Death
I was
Day
like
and all
confused
those
about.
other movies.
I was confused because everyone was like, this is a horror classic, and I watched it and I was like, this is a spoof of horror movies. Like, what do you mean? Like, everything is goofy about it. And then I was thinking, I was like, Scary Movie is a spoof of Scream. They spoofed a spoof. Like,
yeah, it's like a horror. It's not like a full spoof, but it's like a send up of slasher movies that like comments on it. It's very meta. It's a very meta movie versus Scary Movie. Very trope.
I thought it was funny, but I went into it thinking like, this is scary. And it wasn't scary at all.
It's not a scary movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway. What are we talking about?
It's October, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, after they're talking about the Ascension for a little bit, the mayor shows up and he's like, oh, this is where everybody meets to do their little planning and all their shit.
I was so mad. I'm like, guys, lock up the library, please.
Yeah.
Like, the mayor's out there. You know that Faith knows where you guys meet.
He just walks right in, waltzes right in. He just makes a mockery of all of them. He's like, yeah, Faith told me all about this. This is where you guys convene and do all your plotting. And let's see, what are we plotting about? Walks right past Giles. He's like shoulder to shoulder with Giles. Mm-hmm. He's like, let's see what we're reading about. He opens the book up and he's like, oh, okay. On the day of the Ascension, all races will come together as one in fear and terror and horror. And he looks up and goes, that's actually kind of sweet. All the races are together. We don't worry about race or color or anything anymore. We're all just terrified of dying. That's kind of a sick, sweet notion there. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, you sure like to talk. You like the sound of your voice a lot, don't you? And the mayor's like, oh, Buffy, I'm going to fucking eat you.
I love that when he says that.
And Giles gets all pissed off and he takes his fencing sword and just stabs the mayor right in the heart. And the mayor takes a step back. He's like, whoa, not cool. He just takes the sword out, takes his hanky out, and he starts wiping it. He's like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that you try to stab me. You all know I'm invulnerable, and I'll see you all at graduation. Throws the sword back to Giles. Walks out like a fucking boss.
It's so cool. Like, it's such a great scene, too, because you see it that, like, Xander looks terrified.
Dude, Oz and Willow look. Willow's standing behind Oz, and Oz. Yeah. This is like the most emotion you've seen out of Oz. Oz is like freaked out.
Yeah, so they're all afraid, and we get like everyone gets to see how invincible he is, because the only person that's seen it really has been Faith and Angel. Mm-hmm. So everyone has to know that stabbing him will not kill him. Yeah, like it's one thing to be he's invulnerable.
Didn't they see it at the?
I guess he did see. I guess he did see the spider eat his face.
Yeah.
But there was so much going on. It
was also dark.
It was dark, and I think that was more Snyder's realization than them. But this is one where broad daylight. I would have loved if Giles actually did kill him right there, and then have to explain why he stabbed the mayor in the heart.
See, I thought when he took the sword out, I thought he was going to chuck it a lot faster, like at Giles or Wesley, and stab them.
I knew he wasn't going to stab one of them, but I did like the threat that he had when he was holding it, because now you're like, I don't know what this guy's capable of.
That's the other thing, too, about the mayor. He's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because he has such a nice guy demeanor on the outside, but you know that he's evil and he's up to shit all the time.
I don't know why he's so evil, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. So Anya and Xander leave the library, and she's talking to Xander, and she's like, Xander, I'm going to fucking get out of town. This Ascension stuff is no joke. Trust me, I've lived through it. It was 800 years ago, and it still sticks into my memory. Mm-hmm. And if you want any chance of survival, you should leave. You should leave town and never come back. And it's like, yeah, that's what Vance has been saying this whole time. Everybody should.
I'm also thinking, if this happened 800 years ago, wouldn't there be records other than just the Watchers that have this?
You would think.
Like 800 years ago, what year would that put that? Like, that would
be like 1200.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we wouldn't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got buried underneath all of fucking Da Vinci's paintings.
Yeah.
A bunch of bullshit. So Anya screws off and she's like, all right, well, I'm getting out of town. I don't care what you do. So Cordelia shows up and she's like, what's up with her? And then Xander basically fills her in. He's like, the mayor's our commencement speaker. He's going to kill us all. And Cordelia's like, of course.
Like, she doesn't care at all. It's like, she's so chill.
Yeah. So after that, Buffy is at home and she's packing up a bag, and Joyce is like, she shows up and Joyce is like, I'm really proud. I can't wait to graduate. Wait a minute. Are you leaving town again? Are you running away again? I can't believe you. And Buffy's like, no, Mom, I'm packing for you. You need to get out of town. And Joyce is like, why? What is there, a giant demon or something that's going to attack everybody at graduation? And Buffy's like, actually, yeah, good.
She's like, yeah, Mom. Is this your first time on the Alamo? Like, come on.
And so she's packing shit up. And Joyce is like, well, I'm not leaving. And Buffy's like, well, I have to fight this demon and I want you to be safe. And if you're here, you're not going to be safe. And then Joyce is like, well, I can't fathom leaving you to fight these demons alone. And I need to be here with you. And Buffy's like, Mom, zip it. I already packed your bags. I need you to trust me. Get the hell out of town. And then Joyce is like, okay. And Buffy's excuse is like, I can't fight this demon knowing that you're going to be here and there's potential harm coming towards you, blah, blah, blah.
But I can date a vampire who will immediately kill you if I have sex with him.
True. True. And then also Buffy apologizes for not being a normal kid or whatever.
Her apology about like, I couldn't be like that perfect daughter. I couldn't be that great athlete. I'm like, you
absolutely could.
You could be that athlete.
She could be like, in The Incredibles when they have Dash, the fast son, they make him become like second place or some shit because you can't
like throttling down as he runs track.
Yeah.
You're like, no, not too fast. Go down.
Yeah, that could be Buffy. She could be a superhuman.
She could she could be a power lifter. She could be a doing gymnastics.
Yeah.
She's a great ice skater. She could play for the female hockey team.
She could be anything athletic-wise.
And, you can still have time to, like, slay after, like, 6 p.m.
True. Even though the coaches be like, I don't get all this slaying bullshit.
Yeah,
you'd have stupid coaches who'll be like, yeah, well, you're not studying film.
Yeah. She's just on a volleyball team jumping like 80 feet in the air to spike.
Yes, but like deflating the ball as she smacks it, explodes.
But I would be so mad if I'm Joyce. I'm like, man, I gotta leave the finale.
Man, now this is a paycheck out of my pocket.
Yeah, I can't just be at the graduation screaming as things go awry.
Yeah.
I could do that. But
that's basically that scene. And then we get some of my favorite shit happening here. We get Willow at home.
Oh, wait. Before, there's a line in this scene that is amazing from Joyce. And is a great send-off for her.
Okay. What is
she's
it?
like, thinking about all the stuff that happened here, maybe I should have sent you to a different school.
Yeah.
Her line delivery of that is amazing.
Yeah.
You think that was going to be the problem?
But, then we're at Willow's home, and we start off this scene with seeing Amy the rat in a little rat cage.
You've been wanting this for episodes.
Yeah, and we finally get it. Finally get it. We see Amy the rat, and Willow and Oz are in Willow's room, and they're trying to figure out a spell to reverse the Ascension. And Willow is basically like, this sucks. I can't find anything about this. I can find stuff about how to talk to shrimp. I find stuff out, some other odd thing.
Yeah.
She's like, but I can't find anything about this Ascension stuff. And then Oz just turns around and he goes, our lives are different than other people's. Which was such a perfect Oz line.
Yeah.
Huh. Our lives are different than other people's. And Willow's like, I can't even change Amy back from being a rat. I can't. Of course, I'm not going to be able to figure out anything about this Ascension stuff. And then Oz is trying to comfort her. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. You're an amazing witchcraft woman. We'll figure something out. And Willow's like, dude, why are you always so level-headed? What is up with you? I just want you to panic. It's normal to have a fucking human emotion of panic. We all could die in the next 3 days. And you're just sitting here, you're all level-headed, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. Aren't you worried that we're all going to die? Aren't you worried about all of our friends dying? Aren't you worried about, stuff that I wanted to do after graduation? I might miss out on that. And then Oz just gets up and he kisses her. And then Willow goes, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm panicking. And then you get the precursor to banging where they do the kiss that slowly descends both of the bodies horizontal off camera.
Dun, 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 dun. I do love that he's like, wait, you think I'm not afraid? Like, I'm not worried about this? I'm like, and this episode brings up even a later scene with Angel. It's like, people panic different ways. And in this one, it's like gender specific. But like, I feel like I would be more in the odd spectrum of this, of like, I'm not outwardly just going to be running around screaming and freaking out because that wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But inside, I would be like at the point of Xander of like, I think I'm going to die today.
Yeah.
He's not like running around freaking out, but he completely is like, this sucks.
I'd be at Anya level. Like, I'm leaving. I saw this happen. It's only going to affect this town. Well, guess who's taking a nice trip? Oh, man.
Yeah. If and the lesson here is if you're talking to a girl and she starts going off and she's like freaking out, just plant one on her.
Plant a wet one, baby.
Yeah. He was like, the time isn't right last time, but this is the time.
Oh, we all might die?
Yeah.
I guess I have some time to fuck.
Yeah. I was just like, cover up Amy's cage. You know, she doesn't need to see this.
Dude, I wrote a note about that later on.
Yeah. I was like, in front of Amy.
I was like, Amy's witnessing this all happen.
Yeah.
I think that there might be a shirt over her cage when we come back to it later.
Yeah, just because it's like, oh, they disrobed passionately. Like
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh, we don't want her to see. It
Yeah.
was just kind of like flung up there.
Yeah. So then we go over to Buffy, and Buffy's adventure is that she is at the Professor Worth's apartment, and she's looking through all of his paperwork and gathering some stuff that she might find useful. She's putting it in a box, and she very clearly ripped through a police do not cross crime scene tape. The door is wide open, and Angel shows up. And this is the most awkward thing I think that has happened in this show. Angel shows up in the doorway and he slips and he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, he trips coming in, and I couldn't help think, is this the setup for Angel? And is Angel going to be a Seinfeld-esque comedy where he's Kramer and he just stumbles on the crime scenes like, whoa, oh, Angel's here again. Wait, let me see this. He's like just tasting blood. Like, oh, well, this.
It's just a Mr. Magoo type of deal. Whoa.
It's like, I don't know if he did that and they just decided to leave it in because he played it off, or if they, like, I have no idea why that's there.
I think it's for a line later.
Okay, what's the later line?
When he stands up and Buffy's like, wow, you're a real klutz today, aren't you? But it's because he'd been poisoned. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's...
Wait,
it's
she says that later?
Yeah, it's a real flimsy excuse to have
this
little slip.
He was just shot with an arrow. I don't like. I would take someone injured. Like, whoa, stumbly, huh?
Oh, look at this klutz dummy.
Yeah, almost died a minute ago.
Yeah. But so he's slipping all over the joint, and Buffy's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I talked to Giles. He asked me to come." She's like, "Ugh, Giles coming here. He thinks I need protection. I don't need protection." And Angel's like, yeah, he's worried that Faith might show up, and then, it'd be 2-on-1. It'd be better odds if we were both fighting. And then Buffy's like, well, all right. And Angel's like, so what's up with this professor? What's his work all about? And Buffy's like, it looks like he's studied volcanoes or something. He's a volcanologist or whatever she said. And
sinisterly.
Yeah. And so they figure out that he studies volcanoes, and they go outside, and Angel's like, here, let me walk you back to the library. And Buffy's like, I don't need an escort. Angel's like, well, I want to walk with you. There's a bunch of danger going on out here. Let me just walk with you. And Buffy's like, why can't you just leave me alone? You dumped me. You dumped me, and you went to prom and acted all sweet, and then you just disappear. And then Angel's like, well, what do you want from me? You want me to be around more? Or do you want me to be around less? And Buffy goes, yes. And he was like, yes to what? She's like, And he's like, no, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I don't know what's going on here. And Buffy's like, you just are acting like everything's all cool and you're still going to leave the Ascension and you dumped me and you're acting like this never even happened, like you never even loved me. And Angel gets fed up at this point. And he's like, you think I don't fucking feel weird? You think I don't feel bad about what's going on? I want to continue dating you. I'm a fucking vampire though. And he's explaining himself. And Buffy's like, well, great. She's doing her, I'm sad, not knowing what she wants. Angel's doing his sad, I don't know what I want. And as they're having this conversation, Angel gets shot from behind with an arrow.
Yeah.
And he's like, fool!
He's like, sweet mercy.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank God we can talk about something else.
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier, like, Angel obviously is not, like, happy with the situation, but he's just not, like, overly emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So then we...
And my point to this is, and, like, a lot of arguments and a lot of debates, two things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like. It's always like, oh, it's this or that. And it's like, no, both can be true.
Exactly. Yep. But Angel gets shot with an arrow, falls to his knees, and Buffy's like, Angel! Pan up to see where the shot has been fired from, and it is Faith in the, like, Sunnydale sun sign, neon sign. She's up there with a vampire, and the vampire's like, you missed the heart. And she's like, I know. I meant to do that.
He's got a spinoff coming. I'm like, and to your point, she got really good with that bow and arrow. Like,
she did real quick, dude.
Dude, missing someone's heart from that distance, like, unless you're aiming straight for shoulder, like, you really risk it. Like,
even if she had a gun from that distance, that's an impressive shot.
Yeah.
But a bow and arrow, there's a lot going on. That's a far shot.
Yeah. She took into account wind.
Yeah.
Gravity. Yeah.
So then we go to the library where Giles and Buffy are taking the arrow out of Angel, and Wesley's there doing some research on Professor Worth's notes. And what Wesley discovers is that the professor had unearthed a large skeleton that he thought was a dinosaur from underneath a volcano in Kauai, I think he said. And then
Kauai or Hawaii?
I could have swore it was a K. But I don't know if that's... Is that a place? Who cares?
I don't know.
Sinnersley.
We're just all having problems.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew Baja Blast ain't working like it used to right now. But they deduced that was the skeleton of a demon, and the mayor wanted that covered up because even though the mayor is invulnerable right now, in his pure demon form, he can be harmed and he can be killed. And then Buffy's like, well, great. All we need is 500 million tons of lava to kill this fucking guy. And they're like, yeah, it might be not that complicated.
What a crazy loose end to close up.
Yeah.
Like, this random professor.
Dude, if this guy...
miles and miles away that no one knows about, who thinks he discovered a dinosaur.
If this guy hadn't been killed at all, no one would have suspected anything. No one would have figured this out.
Which they bring up. They bring up that the mayor, this is the mayor's one slip up. Yeah.
Like Wesley is like, in trying to cover up something, he may have led us to some evidence that will help us.
Yeah.
So this is where Angel stands up and then he falls, and then Buffy's like, wow, aren't you Mr. Clumsy here? And he's like, get off my back. I just got shot with a fucking arrow. And then he stands up fully and then just falls immediately to the ground. And he starts sweating. He's sweating just like Jonathan was sweating in that one episode. And he's like, oh, God. Oh, I think that arrow might have been poisoned. And then Buffy's like, oh, God, no. Then Giles and Wesley are like, we're going to figure out what happened. Giles is like, I'm going to research about the poisoned arrow. Wesley's like, I have the full, the Watchers Council has every bit of knowledge about poisons in the known universe, so I'll ask them about it and we'll figure this out. We're going to get you back to full health, Angel.
Yeah, it's crazy that the Watchers have a list of poisons, man-made and like mystical.
Yeah.
And like you can't just like look that up somewhere. Like
yeah, that's not one of fucking Giles' books.
That's the one book that you guys don't have.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So we go to Willow and Oz back at Willow's place. They very clearly banged. Amy the Rat saw it all. Willow is rambling on and on about, oh my God, this was nice. I feel different. Like everything feels different now. Like this is crazy. Oz, do you feel? Well, obviously you don't feel different. You've had sex before, and Oz is like, shh. Everything feels different. I'm happy that we banged. We should really get back to this whole saving the world thing, though. Willow gets a phone call, and she learns of Angel's, I guess, poison situation. So Faith is now at the mayor's office, and she tells the mayor about, the whole arrow situation. She's like, worked like a charm, stabbed him right in the back with the arrow, shot him in the back. That should occupy them for a little while. They're going to be all worried about Angel, so they should not be able to foil your plans this time, Mr. Mayor. And then the mayor's standing there with the box of Gavrock, and he's like, all right, you did a great job. I'm really proud of you, Faith. Why don't you take the night off? Rest up. Tomorrow's a big day. And then Faith says something else. She's like, I kind of want to stay. There isn't anybody that you want me to murder. There isn't anybody that you want me to maim. And he's like, look at you. Aren't you a little firecracker? And then Faith goes, that's what my fucking mom used to call me.
My mom used to call me a little firecracker because I run around like little and be like, pop, 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 pop.
That's what my fucking mom used to call me so much. I'm so happy that you're in my life, Mr. Mayor. I fucking love this. And then she talks about how she used to, back in Boston, kid, there was this wicked high quarry. And, all the kids over there, we all used to go swimming in the quarry. And there was this one giant rock that everybody used to be, we would jump off. But there was a wicked high rock. And everybody else was wicked scared to jump off it. But not me, kid. Not me. I was like 40 feet in the air. And I jumped right into that harbor. And the mayor's like, that's very much like you. You're a good kid. Of course you weren't scared. Why don't you go home and get some rest? I'm going to eat a bunch of spiders. She's like, all right.
Boston quality. Just like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect.
Back home in Boston.
And it's like, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, that story didn't mean anything.
Like, you were fearless. Cool.
Yeah.
This is the moment though where the mayor's listening to the story and he's looking at her like, it sucks. I'm gonna have to kill this girl.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm getting the vibe of.
I think, that's what I've been predicting this whole time. He's going to fucking, if she somehow gets in the way,
yeah,
he's gonna throw her to the wolves.
Yeah.
I just think that because he's evil.
Yeah. We don't know all the details of what he has to do.
We'll figure it out next episode, potentially.
Yeah.
So now we're back at school, and Oz, Willow, and Xander are researching the poison. They're trying to figure out how to cure Angel. Xander has to go get stuff from the magic shop, and Anya is at school late at night this time, and she stops him.
When Xander walks out of the library, he just has his head down, like not aware. I'm like, I would have my head on a swivel anytime I was at school at night.
I'd have my head on a swivel 24/7.
Yeah,
I would never sleep. I would die from lack of sleep.
Yeah,
you know how people like die from not sleeping? I would totally die.
He was like looking at the list, like, oh wow, toad, frog, okay, this. I'm like, no, dude, like, this school is creepy.
I'd sleep in a concrete room with no windows, covered in crosses and holy. I have a moat of holy.
You want one window.
Why?
You need,
for daylight.
You need a skylight or something.
Oh,
you need something.
I'd have a moat of holy water around my bed. Nobody's fucking with me, dude. And in my nightstand in the drawer would be a squirt gun with holy water.
We've seen them hang garlic.
Safety off.
Safety. Fully loaded. Safety off. We've seen them use garlic and hang garlic, but I don't know how garlic actually affects them. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a pizza scene in season 5. Oh, it's garlic on that pizza.
So yeah, he's walking out, and Anya is standing there lurking in the dark, and she's like, Xander? And he's like, oh, what are you doing here? And she's like, look, dude, I'm bolting. I'm leaving town. You should come with me. And Xander's like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm leaving. And he's like, yeah, I thought that you'd be halfway to Aruba by now. You know, you're leaving you with your tail between your legs. She's like, no, I'm all packed in the car. I want you to come with me. And Xander's like, I can't. I've got friends on the line here. I'm going to do all that I can to save and protect them. And Anya's like, that's really stupid. What you're doing is dumb. You're going to die. You're going to fucking die, dude. And he's like, I guess that's a possibility, but I got to do what I got to do. And he starts to walk away. And then Anya goes, well, good. I hope you fucking die. Xander's like, wow, we're really sweetening the pot here. And she's like, no, but wait, we're not going to kiss?
Yeah, she really hits him with the line of like, you're just going to get in the way, which harks back to the Zeppo episode.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're just like not helping. You're going to die. I hope you do die. And he's like, she goes from full like caring to rage to I've only know about relationships through movies.
Well, he also talks to her about like, you really don't understand this whole romance relationship type of stuff.
This human thing.
Yeah. But it's so weird. Where did this crush come from? To the point of like, I want you to come away with me, Xander.
It's one of those things you can get away with in movies and TV. Yeah. Like you watch a rom-com that people haven't met and now they're deeply in love in an hour and a half. You know? And once she went to prom with them, and yeah,
I guess, you know,
he didn't do anything at prom besides dance with her. Like there wasn't a moment where they had a little connection. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like she's like, this is nice, and it was like you're dancing in the middle of the dance floor. That's it, and he seems not to be into you at all.
Well, he had more of a moment with Cordelia when she thanks him for the dress. Yeah. Like we saw that little moment click. But they had
a moment too in this episode when like Anya's running away and Cordelia's like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Like there's no connection in this out of nowhere. Like, why does she like him?
And oddly enough, I do like it. I do like the drama that it can cause. But yeah, there's not a strong backing behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, I gotta do what I gotta do. And then she's like, oh, aren't you gonna kiss me though? So
Xander's brave, man. He really is. He'd never run away from, like, he thinks he's going to die from the beginning of this episode, that he's not willing to leave with a demon who has seen it and is now a hot girl.
Yeah. Not thinking with his dick anymore.
But he does know he's got Cordelia, Willow, and Buffy still around. So it's like 3-1.
He doesn't have anybody.
Oh, Angel's about to leave.
Oh, very fair. Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't know that, and we don't know that. Wink, wink.
I mean, Angel said he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
And I think
has Buffy told them? Yeah, okay.
I think they all know.
Yeah, Willow definitely at least told Xander.
Yeah.
Unless she's like, I'm not breaking girl code.
She'll break girl code for old school bro code.
Yeah, what takes precedent there?
Yeah, childhood friend.
Yeah, friend for years and years and years, or life and death of Buffy.
Yeah, I would lean Buffy just because she can save my life more.
Yeah, I would never betray Buffy.
I would never betray. Buffy could treat me like shit.
Buffy could wear Xander's ruffled shirt, and I'd be like, "Great shirt,
great shirt.
You're looking real good there, Buff."
Yeah. Buffy, you want my lunch money? Oh, you have your own? Sure.
Buffy, whatever you need.
Yeah.
Magic shop, I'll rob it. I'll do whatever for you.
For real.
So then we go to Buffy at Angel's mansion, and Buffy is nursing him back to health. He's all sweaty, and Wesley and Giles are there. And Wesley's like, look, I talked to the council, and they said that they can't help. Well, they refuse to help because the Watchers Council is not in the business of trying to cure and help and aid vampires. And Angel's a vampire no matter how good he is. And Buffy's like, did you tell him how good he is? He's like, yeah, I mean, I did. She's like, well, try again. Tell him again. And he's like, look.
They know who Angelus is because they wrote the books on him.
Exactly. They're like, wait a minute. You want us to help Angelus? Didn't, like, a month or two ago, wasn't he a soulless sex demon?
Yeah, didn't he do the whole, like, there's a whole story about what he did to Drusilla.
Yeah.
And then Wesley came in there with his Watcher goons and beat the crap out of him to kidnap Faith.
Yep.
Yeah.
But nah, they're not going to help him.
Yeah.
And Wesley's like, honestly, the Watchers Council kind of wants you to wants the Ascension to take priority here, and we should stop the Ascension rather than help Angel. And
why are the Watchers just like sending remote information through Wesley about something that will destroy an entire town?
Yeah.
Like, they're not like, hey, can we get on a call with all of you
to
talk about this? Because this might be the biggest thing happening in the world at this point. Like, what are they doing? They're just sitting there like, is that teenage girl, is she focused on this?
Well, Buffy can't focus on the Ascension because her lover has been poisoned.
Yeah. Okay, so I wrote 2 lines down from this scene. One was when Wesley goes, these laws have existed but long before civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like interesting that I was like, all right, that's interesting that they didn't even have society yet. The Watchers had a group that they made these laws about, but sure. And then when Buffy says, I'm talking about watching my lover die, I expected Giles to like shudder. Because I've never heard like a teenager say something like that.
It's very overly dramatic.
Yeah. I was like, your lover? Like, Oz is closer to being Willow's lover than that. You guys had sex a year ago.
And you can't again.
And then you killed him.
Oh, man.
That line just hits way too hard.
Yeah. But I think, again, logically speaking, Wesley has a point about, like, we should really be focusing on the guy that can destroy the entire city.
Yeah, he's always voice of reason.
But Buffy is
he brings up the point of, like, this is just a distraction to distract you.
And
which
he's right.
We heard Faith say this is to distract her.
Dude, Wesley, for all the douchery that surrounds him, 9 times out of 10, he is absolutely right on a lot of these things. Like when he talked about, maybe the box of Gavrock is going to have some fucking supernatural protection. We should look into doing something about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anybody else thinking about that?
Maybe we should come up with a plan B instead of trade.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I should fuck a high schooler. He's always right.
He's been counting down the days of graduation too. He's like, I gotta survive this Ascension, guys. Little Wesley depends on it.
But he's like, look, you and Buffy's like, I don't give a fuck about what the Watchers are telling me to do. I'm not going to listen to the Watchers anymore. I don't give a fuck about them. I quit the Watchers Council. And Wes is like, you can't just quit the Watchers Council. You're crazy. And
there's
she's
so
like,
much paperwork you have to fill out.
Yeah, I got to give an exit interview. There's no time for that during the Ascension. But Buffy's like, where are the Watchers? You're the only person here, and I don't respect you at all. And there's nothing that you can do to stop me from not obeying your rules. And Wes is kind of like, but you're crazy.
He's like, Giles, tell her.
Yeah, and Giles goes over and he sides with Buffy, and he's like, tell her what? I'm not even a part of the Watchers anymore. I've been excommunicated or whatever.
Excommunicado.
Yeah. How many?
The John Wick.
Like,
he's excommunicado.
Oh man, how many times did they say that in that movie?
Oh my God, we get it. He's not a part of the team anymore.
But yeah, Buffy's like, I quit the Watchers. She walks past Wesley. She gives him the old shoulder bump. And then Wesley just looks at Giles and he's like, aren't you going to stop her? He is just beside himself. Like, I don't know. How come no one's obeying my rules? It's like, well, bro, no one's been obeying your rules since you got here. She
has the greatest line at the end. And there's like this really, well, there's two things. There's this long pause where she says, he's like, oh, this is mutiny. And she's like, no, it feels more like graduation.
Yeah.
And it's like the way they wrap it back up. But there's like a long pause when she thinks about it. Then you get like hold on it, which is kind of great. But then when she's walking away, she looks at Wesley and says, get a job.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, what exactly is his job?
Yeah.
Like, I still don't understand how the Watchers work. Can't wait to discover exactly how they work.
What if we never do? And this is just a constant question we always have.
I think that's the whole season 4 is going to be her versus the Watchers.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that's what it is. You
now,
can't rebel. You can't rebel from a group of old white men like that and not have some like repercussions.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. That's what
your
it is, but that's what it felt like when she's like, "You walking away,"
so
and then Giles goes over to her side, so it's like a literal like it's us versus them kind of situation.
So this is John Wick.
Yeah,
Buffy's she's going to show up to the Watchers Council in a fucking Hall of Mirrors disco type thing with a stake, just fucking wrecking house, dude.
What's the hotel? The Continental?
The Continental. She's going to go to the Continental.
What's the Sunnydale version of that?
The espresso pump.
No murders at the espresso pump.
Yeah. Oh, man. So then we go to Buffy goes back to school, and Buffy, Willow, Xander, and Oz are there, and they're still researching the poison. And there's not a lot of cures. There's not a lot of records of people being cured from the type of poison that Angel has been poisoned with, which is called the Killer of the Dead.
This line comes, it is so weird that we just got Wesley being like, they won't tell us what it is. They won't help you. And then the next scene is Willow says, oh, finding out the poison wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what she says. I'm like, yeah, like everything is in these books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't need to make a phone call. Like, I get the drama that they wanted to set up and the tension between the Watchers, and her graduation is her leaving the Watchers because that's the thing that she's been in or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love that story, but it's just like to have it undercut with Willow being like, yeah, I found it. It's fine.
What if Willow and Giles start a new Watchers Council? It's just called the New Watchers Council or something.
Maybe Buffy should be in charge of her own thing.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, like she shouldn't be answering. Like, they should be working for her.
So there's not a lot of records of cures for this Killer of the Dead poison, but Oz stumbles upon one
by reading a book.
Yep.
Like, everything is in these books.
And he's like, I found, this is complicated. And Buffy's like, what? Spill. And he's like, well, the only cure for the Killer of the Dead poison is the blood of a slayer. And Buffy's like, well, good thing we got 2 of those. And then
it's so convenient.
Absolutely it is.
Xander has a great line when they're like, when he's not spilling, he's like, the suspense is killing Angel.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good line.
So then Buffy's like, I know what I gotta do. I gotta kill Faith. Feed her to my boyfriend. And Willow's like, are you sure you want to do that?
Well, it's a weird line where Willow's like, "You're gonna feed her you're gonna feed her to Angel. If you feed her to Angel, she'll die."
Mm-hmm.
And then Buffy says, "Not if I kill her first," or something.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Wait, what? What is the issue? Why are you guys opposed to killing this girl?"
Yeah. It's against
Like,
the rules.
I just like, I don't know. Like, it just seems so. Like, Buffy saying that she's gonna kill her was better than if she fed her alive to Angel. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
She dies both ways. Like,
Yeah, is there a more like noble death or like a less painful death? Like,
it's not like she automatically turns into a vampire if a vampire bites you. Like, so it's like what that line is just, it was just so weird.
I wonder if a Slayer becomes a vampire. Are they like a mega super vampire? I'm sure that's going to be something season 5 or 6 or some bullshit.
I was really hoping that like we didn't have that weird, you know, like in all those vampire movies, it's like that weird sucking the blood, like it's sex kind of scene that's in all of them. And I was really hoping we might avoid one of those for this, but I don't know.
Yeah. So Willow and Oz get to work trying to find out where Faith lives.
Why are they doing this just now?
Yeah.
She has been a menace for episodes, and they're just like, oh, maybe we should try and look for her.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
But they're also flirting while they still have the stench of sex on each other. And they're like, Willow has like Oz like caresses her hair, and Willow has this like, oh, moment.
You know what's really funny is that they didn't have the time to do the awkwardness of like Xander and Buffy like being like, you guys look different.
Yeah.
You guys feel different. Your hair, like, you know, none of that
You guys
happened.
smell like cum.
They're all just high-fiving like, we're not virgins anymore.
Yeah. Well, Willow would be.
Willow and Xander.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, they're
Cordelia's
looking...
the only virgin.
Oh wow, she really is.
Mm.
And Giles.
She might be. Giles had his wild phase, man.
Yeah, Wesley.
Giles had sex with Joyce twice.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Wesley.
Like
Wesley and Cordelia, they gotta do it.
That's what we're rooting for, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, Buffy is like going through Library Jail's armory and she's gathering weapons, and Xander's like, are you really sure you want to go through with this? And Buffy's like, look, I can't play fucking games anymore. Faith is a menace. I gotta take her out. And then Xander's like, I'm worried about losing you though. And she's like, don't worry, I'll survive. And he's like, no, I mean like losing your humanity, basically. And Buffy's like, don't worry about it. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
My vampire boyfriend's in trouble, and when my vampire boyfriend's in trouble, I do anything.
Exactly.
Like what was that? There was an episode before where he was in trouble, and she stood up, and she was like,
nobody messes with my boyfriend.
Yeah, what was that against Darla or something? I forget. It was something.
Pretty early because we were both surprised. We were both malfunction. I was trying to say shocked.
Let's just start this whole podcast over.
Yeah, I was trying to say shocked and surprised at the same time, and then I was going to go sure shocked or something. Dude, if this gets an A+ from anybody, we're fucking. You guys are biased. We're wasted right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
but we were both surprised that she said boyfriend because we were like, oh, I didn't know it was at that level.
Yeah, and now she's saying lover, so they've ratcheted it up.
Oh yeah. So she's like, I don't care. I gotta do what I gotta do. And then we have like this montage of people getting ready. Faith is at her apartment boxing. Buffy is staring at herself in a mirror. Like,
wait, before that, Buffy grabs the dagger that was
true.
That was Faith's.
Yeah, that Faith threw at the spider.
Yeah, and then the scene in the bathroom mirror almost looks like Buffy used that dagger to shave. Like, it's the weirdest scene where she comes up from the sink and her face is wet.
Yeah,
and she looks in the mirror, and I'm like, Wait, was she just washing her face off?
I think it was like one of those movie tropes of like, I gotta splash
definitely.
water onto my face to get ready to do.
But you normally do that when like you need to step away from a tense situation, not like I'm about to go to battle.
Well, for as wet as Buffy's face is, we go to Angel's face, who has just been sprayed with a spray bottle like he was a bad cat. And then we go back to Faith boxing, we go back to Buffy in the mirror, and then we go back to Angel. And then we go to Willow, and she's like, I found the address. And here it is, Buffy. You know what you gotta do. And Buffy takes it, and she's like, all right. Then we go to Faith in her apartment, and she's fully dressed. Like, she was just shadow boxing in like a sports bra and like workout gear. And now she's in like jeans, a t-shirt, and a jean jacket. And she's reading comic books. Yeah, she got shoes
licorice.
on.
Yeah.
Reading comic books.
Buffy comics.
Listening to loud punk music.
I have to say, her apartment is awesome.
It's dope as fuck, dude. The mayor spared no expense. She got a PlayStation in that bitch.
And she's reading books.
Yeah. And so she's got this loud music going on, and she's on her bed reading comic books. And this is where Joey Boy gets upset. Buffy shows up. Faith does not see Buffy. Buffy is behind Faith. Buffy shows up, turns the music off, and she's like, all right, it's about time that we settle this. And I'm like, bro, you had the drop on her. Just sneak up behind her, kill her. It'd be that easy. You had to be all dramatic, and I know it's a TV show and we got to have a big fight scene, but just kill her.
No. I get it, but yeah, no, it would have been very anticlimactic if she was just eating licorice and all of a sudden she was like, oh.
But
yeah.
I also got to say, this is the outfit we've been waiting for.
Yeah, we kind of saw it hanging. They like teased the beginning of the episode with maroon. And then we see like the pants kind of hanging when she's in the locker, or the scene before when Willow gives her the address or something. You can kind of see it off frame, like she's about to put on a different outfit.
So this is Buffy's like graduation / I'm cool with murder outfit.
Yeah. This is your Batman Dark. Which one is it? The Batman. Which one does he kill people in? Whichever Batman version.
All of them. He always kills people.
Well, I mean, it's like the Zack Snyder Batman where he just doesn't give a fuck about killing people. That one. Yeah.
So she turns off the music, and Faith's like, oh, nice of you to show up. And Buffy's like, let's get it over with, dude. You know what's going to happen. We got to duke it out. And then Faith is like, how's your boy Angel doing? Is he all holed up? He's pretty sick, huh? That was my doing. And Buffy's like, yeah, I know. But there is a cure. And Faith's like, oh, damn it. Well, what's the cure? And Buffy's like, the cure is your blood. And they're both standing cross-armed. Yeah. And Faith's like,
does he need all of their blood? Or
that's what I was wondering too.
Yeah, they didn't. I think it's going to be some, and I think it's going to be like a weird.
I think that somebody mentions that he does need all of her blood.
Okay,
but who knows? I couldn't.
They're like, he just needed a drop, and they're like, oh,
yeah, he just needs like a little diabetes finger prick. Yeah. So Faith's like, huh? Well, that sucks that you need my blood, because I'm not just going to give it to you. Buffy's like, I know. Let's get it over with. And then they start duking it out.
They get really close to each other. Buffy throws the first punch, right? And then she waits so that Faith can throw the punch.
Yep.
And then they do their weird, awkward stances.
Yeah, their karate stances.
And I have to say, I don't think we should really detail this fight scene because there's not a lot.
Yeah, we can't really detail too much. There is a couple of things that we can detail.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a fan of this fight scene.
Really? Why not?
It it just, I don't know. I was just like, I didn't feel the tension. I didn't feel like there was some interesting choreography stuff, but it felt sloppy. I don't know.
So they fall out the gigantic window at Faith's apartment, and then Buffy handcuffs herself to Faith.
Yeah,
and she's like, stick around for a while. And
I was like, why?
I thought it was interesting. Because it's like if Faith was trying to run.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Faith was trying to run. I did not get the vibe that Faith would run.
Same.
Until she handcuffed her.
Yes. If there was like Faith trying to run from the get-go and Buffy cuffed her from the get-go, then yeah, I could get that.
Here's one thing too. She has not pulled out the dagger yet.
No.
like the thing that you're going to use to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But after Buffy cuffs herself to Faith, Angel
got Joyce's sex handcuffs on her.
Angel, Willow, and Oz, they're looking over Angel as he's sweating. Giles is reading about the demon that they think the bones are from is a demon called Alvicon. And he opens a book. He's like, I think I got a passage on Alvicon. And he's like, oh, this guy was big.
They couldn't find the poisons.
No.
Couldn't find the poisons.
Not at all. They open the book to where Alvicon is listed. And they're like, oh, we got a picture of him in here. And it's a gigantic centerfold. And Xander keeps unfolding like, oh my God, we're going to need a bigger boat. This guy was fucking huge.
It's so random, the Jaws line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did love the slow fold out of how big the thing was. And I'm like, it being big, does it matter? Like at a certain point.
Yeah, right.
And you can depict, it's a great visual for film, but like you could definitely depict something as big without having it folded out.
Yeah.
You know, use scale.
Yeah.
Show smaller people on the page and you're like, oh, that's a really big thing.
I do enjoy the gag.
I do.
Of it,
yeah,
though.
it is
pretty
great.
fun.
Yeah. I'm being super nitpicky because I really do love them like folding it out.
Yeah.
Folding it out. I'm really afraid to see what this thing looks like though.
Oh, me too.
Dude, the effects are going to be awful.
Based on that scene in the last episode where Buffy spontaneously combusts.
Or that like demon snake in the sewer.
Oh, yeah.
God. Like what CGI horror is this thing going to be?
Who knows? But then we go to the mayor's office and he's just got spider legs dangling from his mouth.
It's
just
so good.
Slurps them up. And he's like, whew, these, I'm starting to feel different. This is good. I'm feeling my organs rearranging themselves. He's talking to a vampire that's in the office with him. He's like, feeling different. My organs. This is going to be great. And also these spiders are high in fiber. And who doesn't love being regular as well? It's like, oh, the mayor's talking. Immortal demons talk about poop. Gotta love it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just so like I don't think he makes it past the next episode, but I'm gonna miss him. He really came on strong.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss him too.
And he's doing a great job in this.
So after he slurps up the spider legs and he's talking about being regular, another vampire comes in. He's like, hey, boss, we got some trouble back at Faith's. And the mayor's like, what?
How?
Maybe they got cameras?
They got cameras on her, I guess? Maybe.
I mean, maybe there was a complaint about the giant window bursting. Or the loud music. Maybe there's a noise complaint. That's what he came in. He's like, hey, boss.
And this also means like Faith is more important too. Because otherwise he'd just be like, whatever. It's tomorrow. It's fine. Who cares? Yeah. I think she plays a role. I think
there's got to be something.
She's got to play a role, but I also don't know how. Like she came to him, he didn't come to her.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe he needs to make like a sacrifice. Maybe it's like a Thanos type of deal where he's like, you have to sacrifice something you love when he has to sacrifice Gamora.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe something like that.
So was he in love with Mr. Trick? Like was this going to be Mr. Trick's role in all of this at the end?
Who knows?
Yeah, that's the way I'm watching the finale. I'm watching anything that he does with Faith. If that actually happens, I'm going to picture if Mr. Trick had killed him and it was just Mr. Trick alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. But yeah, then Buffy and Faith are fighting some more. Faith breaks out of the handcuffs, and then they're standing a little bit far apart from each other. Faith grabs a giant, like, steel rod to fight Buffy with, and then Buffy digs into her leather jacket and pulls out Faith's knife. And Faith looks at her, and she is pissed. She goes, "That's my knife. That's mine." And Buffy's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to give it to you." I was like, oh, shit.
And that's kind of the end of the knife story, basically.
Well,
I thought maybe.
Not really. I mean, Buffy and her fight a little bit, and then Buffy stabs her in the gut with it. And then Faith's like, "You finally did it, B. You killed me." Well, there was like a little part where like Faith is like dangling her off of a ledge.
Well, they're like standing on the edge of the roof, and like you think she's gonna throw Buffy off.
Yeah, and then Buffy whips out the knife and just guts her. And then Faith is like, "You did it. You killed me." It's like, you're still alive. You're talking right now. People survive knives to the gut. You're gonna live. What's the Reservoir Dogs thing? You're gonna survive. Ha ha ha.
She then hits Buffy with like a backhand. Mm-hmm. She's been punching Buffy this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
She hits her with like a backhand after being stabbed. Buffy falls down. Mm-hmm. And Buffy looks like she's going to be knocked out.
That's what I thought too. I was like, she get concussed here?
Yeah, I'm like, how? And then there's so much. I think this pacing is so spread out that it drives me a little crazy. Because it's like she's standing there and she's like, "You did it. You became me, B."
Like, I always knew you killed me. And then Buffy's like, "I always had it in me and I just was hiding it. I'm more like you than you think," or whatever.
And then Faith looks and she sees like a truck coming from down the street and she monologues some more. And then she starts getting herself situated to jump. And it's like she's really lining herself up. And Buffy's just sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, get up. And then Faith's like, "Well, you might have killed me, but you're not going to be able to save your boy."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Buffy, get up.
Yeah.
And then she jumps backwards off the roof. And then Buffy gets up now and looks and like, "Oh no." And she lands in the truck.
And this happens in movies a bunch where people jump off a building into a truck or something. Usually the truck is like full of pillows or feathers or something, or garbage.
It's not like 9 stories down.
Yeah. And like the people land in it and you're supposed to assume like, oh, they'd be safe if, they jumped into a dump truck or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously not true. But this truck has nothing in the truck bed. It's just like wooden slats.
The truck doesn't even stop.
That's the thing,
driving the truck. You're driving the truck and you hear this thing.
That's the thing too. You feel like a gigantic boom. You hear a boom. Yeah. And you don't stop. You don't like, whoa, what's in the back of my car?
Nope, not stopping. Vampires.
Like, I don't get paid enough.
Yeah. And like, because I was wondering, like, if Buffy fell off that rooftop, would she die? Like, how strong are they?
Yeah, I don't know how impervious they are.
Could she land on her feet? And just like maybe just break her legs?
Yeah.
She's super strong?
I was wondering about that too when they were like, about to push each other off or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, would they survive this though?
Maybe heights are their weakness because we saw her have to use the Mission Impossible thing to get the
the box of Gavra.
To get the box.
But the truck drives off and Buffy looks like, oh shit, I gotta fucking go and find that truck. Gotta catch up to that truck. And that's the episode. TB continued. And I'm anticipating a lot of running across roofs to catch up to this thing.
I picture her just storming right back into the library. We need another plan.
Dude, you're so right. We lost faith because Buffy doesn't chase anything.
Because Buffy doesn't chase anybody down. Like, that's why I was like, she was lying there. I'm like, at least try to grab her, do a little hang off the rooftop thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Like, this is your key to save your quote unquote lover. And you're just lying there after one hit. I know she's a little shell shocked from like, oh my God, I actually did stab a person.
Yeah, she's shell shocked. She may be a little like loopy from getting punched, and like it looked like she hit the back of her head like Tua Tagovailoa did the other day in that football game. Like a little whiplash, back of the head shot.
Reference thrown in here.
Yeah. And maybe she's a little just dazed from that, and that's why she can't get up and stop Faith. But Faith is very obviously like, I'm just going to jump off the back of this now. And why don't you fucking try to get her to stop? You still need her blood.
Yeah.
She just splatters on the pavement. What are you going to scoop it up?
Bring Angel to the corner of Franklin and
right in front of the newspaper.
Yeah,
because that's another thing. That's where Faith lives. Like where she shot that sniper thing. When they fall through the window, that same neon sign is like right on the roof where she is.
Oh, they're on that main stretch?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Super easy to find her. Barely an inconvenience.
They just decided to look for her today.
Yeah.
They found the poison and where she lived in like 5 minutes.
But the Watchers Council forbids it.
These faceless people in London.
Idiots.
What was I going to say? It's, she's not. I don't think Faith's dead because I don't believe anyone dies on TV unless you see them die on screen.
Yeah. I don't think she's dead either. And also a stab to the gut. That's
stab to the gut. She's a watcher. That dagger's huge.
She's a slayer.
Sorry, she's a slayer.
It's a very jagged knife too, so it would really hurt going in and out.
What was Faith's plan when she knew she had a dagger and she was just holding Buffy? Not even like she wasn't even protecting herself.
No clue, dude. I have no idea.
Yeah, I just thought the fight could have been a little more like, I don't know.
I
felt like I've seen fights that had more, like, the stakes are high, but I felt like there wasn't tension in the fight.
Yeah. Could it be that there was obviously their stunt doubles?
That's always the case. I love Buffy's stunt double because it's so obvious when she comes in. She has a whole different, like, physicality to her.
Yeah. I love that meme. I think that you shared it or somebody sent it to me, like, the way that I look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer stunt doubles as if like a medieval woman showing her ankle just like politely look away and be like, I know you're trying.
Like as soon as the fight started and they went in their stance, I was like, and they're gonna cut to stunt doubles punching.
Yeah. And it was just a very long fight scene too.
But they've had fight scenes, like I really like the one in the Balthazar one.
Well, that one everybody was spinning. Everyone was spin kicking, and even the people getting hit were spinning.
This one was a lot of high kicks.
Yeah. That
were like obviously missing, but very high kicks.
Yeah. But it was also like, it felt evenly matched too. And Buffy, that Buffy's there to kill Faith, and that Faith wants to kill Buffy. So when they start fist fighting and kick fighting, you're like, well, that's not going to kill them. So where's the stakes here?
Like I was more tense when she walked into that professor's apartment and whipped out a knife and said, get against the wall. Yeah. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm robbing you. It's just like, no, I'm just here to straight up murder you. Yeah. Like I was like, good grief. Like that's rough.
I was more tense when Angel was dumping Buffy in the sewers.
I didn't know where you were going to go when you said Angel dumping.
Hey, these spiders, they keep you regular.
Yeah.
But that is it for the episode. That is Graduation Day Part 1. Obviously, the next episode is Graduation Day Part 2. We know that the mayor is going to do some shit. I think the thumbnail, was the commencement. It looked like it was out.
Quad, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I made my predictions.
I think, throughout this episode, we made our predictions.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else. It's going to be interesting to see what Anya does.
Yeah, I'm really curious about her now, even though she's my mortal enemy.
Maybe she goes back to that demon that she knows.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little baby face turn for her. She's like, well, Xander's going to be there, so I'm going to try and help Xander.
Mm-hmm. She goes to the mayor's like, or like she goes to Faith to have Faith make a wish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That would be so lame.
She gets her powers back, goes to Willow and asks her to make a wish. And Willow's like, well, I kind of got scorned a little bit.
I wish odds looked like Percy.
Oh, and also that the mayor was defeated. But yeah, that is it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Rate and review on Apple Podcasts. You know, if you do that, you get a shout out on the podcast. Spotify, subscribe. A Discord, join it. Patreon, join it.
Yeah, definitely join the Discord because we're going to be soliciting some questions for the season 3 recap.
Oh, man. Recap.
We can't talk.
We're wasted.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely hop in the Discord, email us because we're gonna start asking for some recap questions that you guys might want to know. Like, keep it spoiler free, you know.
Yeah, because we know that you guys loved the season 2 recap episode, so we're going to do that again for season 3. We also have a little bit of extra stuff maybe in the works here.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to email boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com, follow the Instagram at boyswatchingbuffy. And that is it, everybody. Stay tuned next week when we wrap up season 3 with Graduation Day Part 2.
Oh, you know, Buffy, looking back at everything that's happened, maybe I should have sent you to a different school.
Tune into the Salsa Kings Network. Crack one open if you dare, creeps.